Hey guys, welcome to my preview of the NBA Finals, the Dallas Mavericks and the Miami Heat. We're going to take a look at this series and give you a free pick on the series. I'm showing Miami open minus 180. They are down to minus 170 on the series. I do look at this game and recapping the strengths of both teams. When you look at this, Dallas won both games during the regular season. So if you take a look at that, you're going to think Dallas does have an advantage. But remember, the Chicago Bulls beat Miami in all three regular season meetings and then, of course, lost in the Eastern Conference Finals. Both of the games were played before Christmas, one in November and one about 5 days before Christmas. So early in the season. Clearly, the Miami Heat are not the same team that they were earlier in the season. Also, Dallas had Caron Butler for the first two meetings in which they won. Now, Butler's been out for most of the playoffs, and they've played well without him. So I don't think Butler's a problem for the Dallas Mavericks in this matchup. What I do want to look at is I do believe that right now, the climate of the NBA, the fans watching the games, Dallas is still the underrated team. I mean, let's go back to the first series when they played Portland. A lot of people didn't see them getting past Portland, even though they were a number 3 seed. A lot of people were picking Portland. This team's flown under the radar, given the fact they covered 15 games in a row at one point from the end of the regular season into the playoffs. You just don't keep covering if Vegas isn't giving you enough respect with the line. What I'm looking at in this game is I believe, or this series, I think we're getting value with Dallas. Miami minus 170. Yeah, the Heat are playing well. But let's look at the last two series. Both of them were carbon copies. They played Boston in the semis, and Boston was in every one of those ball games, especially games 4 and 5. They just wilted in the end. The game 4 in Boston, whenever they had the lead the whole game, and then it went to overtime, and it was just Boston was out of gas. And then the monumental collapse against Miami at Miami, when Miami closed it out. I think they scored the final 16 points of the game to end up winning and covering when they trailed the whole game. Boston was able to play toe-to-toe with them. Now, to Boston's credit, they play good defense, and I think that's what was able to keep them in the games against Miami. In the Miami-Chicago series, once again, Chicago was able to play Miami toe-to-toe until it got to crunch time. We saw what happened in Miami when they melted in Game 4, couldn't close it out. Game went to overtime, and Miami took over. That's the difference between a veteran team with Wade and LeBron and Bosh, as opposed to Chicago, a young team that's just learning how to win. The Bulls weren't able to handle the pressure. Once again, when they came back home for Game 5, Chicago led by 10 points with 4-something left on the clock. And again, self-destructed and melted. I just don't see Dallas giving away games like that. In fact, watching the Mavs, we saw them never give up when they came back from 15 down against Oklahoma City. Yes, granted, Oklahoma City was a team that fit the mold like the Bulls, a young team that didn't know how to win yet and melted with the pressure, but they showed the veteran leadership and the poise that no deficit is too much. That is something that's going to be crucial in this series. Yes, Miami's got the great 1-2 punch with Wade and LeBron, and I got to give LeBron credit. I've bashed LeBron all year. A little sour on him leaving Cleveland, but the guy has done it in this series. He was the guy that carried them in the Chicago series. Fourth quarter, which has been the knock on LeBron, because he hasn't won a ring yet. They said when it come to crunch time, he wasn't the guy that was able to carry a team. Well, he carried Miami to at least 2, if not 3 of the wins against Chicago. So given that fact, Miami's not going to just roll over here. This is going to be a great series. I think it's going to go at least 6, 7 games. But in the end, I like the Mavericks. Dirk is just playing at a higher level right now. The guy is possessed. And I know LeBron can play some defense, but I just think that these guys don't play as good defense to stop Dallas enough. Dallas, I will admit, did not play good defense against Oklahoma City. But all season, it was their defense that got the job done. I expect them to bring that defense back. I like the Mavs plus the 150 for the series, and that's going to be my free play. It's going to be a great series, guys, but take the Mavs plus the 150 for the series. That's how I see it. That's where the value's at. We'll have individual plays on each game throughout, so you can always check my homepage throughout at marcodangelo.com. Best of luck to you guys. Hope it's a great NBA Finals. Let's enjoy it and make some money. I'll talk to you. We'll be in the studios this week previewing some of the games and other things going on in sports. So I'll talk to you then. Enjoy Game 1 and the entire NBA Finals.